Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and video number 3 in the most profitable animals series. Chickens today. Luckily, the field that we've been using for all of our other testing has sorghum in it, which is good for chickens. Starting a month later because I had to wait for it to be ready to harvest. But we're going to harvest that field first. That was the €92,000 field. Going to get ourselves the John Deere. Going to get ourselves a John Deere. We're going to go for the one of the older ones. I think we go for the 7810. Put a front loader attacher on it, but it turns out we don't actually need it at all. So harvested the field. We got just over 15,000 litres of sorghum off of that field, which is pretty cool. And plough it now. Obviously that gets rid of weeds and gets the setup. Planting it also needed lime. Annoyingly, I seem to have lost the clip where I brought the chicken pen and brought the chickens and set the shed up. So the chicken pen holds 360 chickens. This is my second time of recording this video because I started off doing what I'd done for the other animals and half filling the pen and letting them breed, but actually eggs are worth so much, you're much better off just to stuff the pen full of chickens and just sell the eggs off. You'll see we're selling 4 pallets of eggs and we made a shed load of cash. So getting into planting now. I'm planting barley because that's the of the 3 crops, that's the one that yields the highest. And I'm hoping that will give us enough to feed the amount of chickens through the year. At the end of the first year, before I could harvest this crop, I did have to buy 1 bag of wheat because the sorghum field wasn't fertilised. So that didn't give us quite enough to feed them for the year. But this field did for the other 2 years give us more than enough feed to keep the 360 chickens going right the way through. So the chickens cost $23,000 and the pen and the shed were about $90,000 in total for the farm. We only needed a €55,000 loan to get started, and by it took me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, and that was paid off and we were out of debt. And that was mainly because the egg price dropped off and I didn't have any income. So as soon as the egg price picked back up, we were good. And you'll see that looking at the graphs which are coming up on screen now. You can see that we made a lot of money, but that really steep part around May time was May-June time was when we actually got a good price on the eggs and were able to sell some. So yeah, we started off $55,000 in debt and we ended up with about $200,000 in the bank. So we made a good 250,000 euros in the bank. That's more than we made doing dairy cows for a significantly lower initial investment. Setting up the dairy cows, we ended up with a €450,000 loan, €430,000 loan to get started, and we never paid it off. The chickens, we only needed €55,000 and we were cash positive fairly quickly. So yeah, and per chicken, we made 700. Is that right? Yes, €700. That's crazy because the chicken costs €50. And they just eat a bit of wheat. So moving on to the comparison plots. So I've got the 2 that I've had in the previous ones. You'll see that a chicken will make you about as much as a sheep. And obviously there is a massive difference in the price of a chicken and a sheep and the number you can have. So the chicken pen that we used cost, I think it was €75,000 and holds 360 sheep. The ones that we 360 chickens. The ones that we used for sheep cost, I think, €97,000 each, and they hold 65. So again, you can have so many more chickens than you can have sheep. This is using base game sheds at the moment. That's all going to change when mods come out, and it's going to change even more when Made Plus comes out, because I'm going to have to redo all of these probably. But yeah, so per animal, chickens make you about the same, as sheep do. Obviously per animal they make a lot less than cows, but a cow costs way more. You know, the dairy farm that I ran had 22 cows on it. We could have had 45. We had 360 chickens. So switching over to the comparison on the per £1,000 spent on an animal, you will see that chickens are so good. They are 2.5 times more profitable than dairy cows. Yeah, 2.5 times more profitable than dairy cows for what you spend on your initial investment. That's insane. It feels very unbalanced to me. I expect it will change with Maize Plus, because Maize Plus will make feeding chickens way more complicated. The other interesting thing, so if you're watching my survival challenge, I'm running chickens and I don't have any fields or a combine or crops coming in. Actually, to feed those 360 chickens for the 2 years, we'd only had to spend about 60,000 euros buying in food. Yet we made 250,000 euros, so we would have still made a massive profit. So even if you don't want to grow the crops, it's worth doing chickens, because you can just buy chicken food really cheap. So I'm really surprised. Third video in, the most profitable animal by far is chickens. I'm starting to look at horses. It's going to take a while because you have to ride horses, and then I'll move on to pigs. Pigs are complicated, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet because of all the different feed that they need. And in these first 3, I've been producing the food. Obviously with chickens that was more complicated because we had to grow a grain crop, and you will have seen that I was leasing all of the equipment that we needed, because that was the most cost-effective way of doing it. The leasing costs were quite small, and then we could just leave the field for most of the year and then come back and harvest it. So actually it was quite easy. Whereas chickens, you're going to have to grow. We're going to have to grow a couple of grains. We're going to have to grow a root crop. So I'm not sure about, with pigs, we're going to have to grow lots of different crops. So I'm not sure about how to do that one yet. If you've got any suggestions on how you would like me to see me tackle pigs, drop a comment below. And yeah, so horses is going to be the next one. It's going to be a while because it's taken me a while to get it done. But yeah, so far the most profitable animal is very definitely chickens. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Catch you next time.